production of the Department of Broadcasting and Journalism at Western Illinois University.
Inclement weather could be hitting our area later today. What you need to know to stay dry.
The bus routes in McDonough County are getting a few updates. Find out what they are and where the funding for these updates is coming from later in the show.
Plus, last year's flu season was the highest pandemic since 2009. Find out how important getting your vaccines are for this year's season ahead.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. News 3 starts now.
We're keeping an eye on a chance for severe weather tonight and tomorrow. Good afternoon and welcome to Live at 4. I'm Terrence Black.
And I'm Devin Brooks. The National Weather Service is placing McDonough County and the surrounding area under a flash flood watch early Wednesday morning. News 3's Molly Naslin has been tracking the storms and brings us the latest. Molly?
Devin and Terrence, we are keeping an eye on these storms right now. Earlier this morning, we did have a bit of a different reading for the Storm Prediction Center severe weather risk. They have widened the area for the marginal risk, which is actually more than what most people would think. So we do have a bit of an elevated risk this afternoon for these severe storms. However, off to our west, we are seeing slight and enhanced risks. This means that the area off to our west is more likely to see these thunderstorms get severe and possibly tornadic. We will be keeping an eye on those throughout the day today. Again, we do have some of these storms coming in this afternoon. There's a bit of a band off to the southwest. That's what we're going to be keeping an eye on. However, some of that is already making its way through our area. Back to you.
All right. Thanks, Molly. We'll see you a little later. With more rain means more standing water, and this water attracts more mosquitoes. The tiny blood-sucking flies are known to leave you itchy and in some places leave you infected. But gene editing technology could leave some mosquitoes unable to reproduce. In today's Health Minute, Andy Rose takes a look at what that means.
Mosquitoes aren't just pesky nuisances, they also carry deadly diseases like Zika virus and malaria. The World Health Organization says 216 million people were infected with malaria in 2016 alone, killing 445,000. But researchers at Imperial College London use gene editing tools to sterilize a population of malaria-carrying mosquitoes. By modifying the double-sex gene that determines if a mosquito is male or female, the scientists were able to control how the mosquitoes develop. According to their research published in the journal Nature Biotechnology, the male mosquitoes developed normally, but female mosquitoes were unable to reproduce and didn't develop the long, needly attachment that sucks out our blood. In the laboratory experiment, 100% of the mosquitoes were affected after several generations, leading to a population collapse. While the experts say this is a step in the right direction, more research is needed to determine what consequences this could have on the food chain and ecosystem. For today's Health Minute, I'm Andy Rose.
A contagious virus that infects your nose, throat, and sometimes your lungs may soon be circulating in the area. Known as the flu, the virus causes mild to severe illness and oftentimes death. To take precaution against the disease is to receive a flu vaccine. I spoke to Dr. Waters in the WRU Butte Health Center to understand why a vaccination is so important.
You know, the flu is not just a benign illness. Some people do actually end up dying from it.
Influenza has been estimated to kill over 80,000 people worldwide last year, reported by the Centers for Disease Control, and nearly 1 million people were hospitalized from its complications. The flu season can start as early as October and last until March. When the weather cools down, people can get the virus a lot easier.
People are inside more and in confined spaces more, whereas in the summer you're outside doing things. When it gets cold outside, people tend to flock inside and do indoor type activities. And that's really why the flu spreads more easily during the winter times.
Experts say that the flu is contracted through droplets left in the air after someone with the virus coughs, sneezes, or talks. If you are around them or inhale the droplets, you can get the flu.
Well, the best thing you can do is get the flu shot. You know, that's going to be your best defense in protecting you from getting the flu. Short of that, you know, washing your hands.
After having gotten the flu before and going to get a flu shot just to prevent it, and then getting the flu after getting a flu shot, it kind of became a contradiction as to why would I get a flu shot if I'm going to get the flu right after getting it.
Many citizens are reluctant to receive a flu shot as rumors spread that the vaccine causes the illness. But Dr. Waters says otherwise.
You cannot get the flu from the flu immunization, at least not the ones that we give here and the ones that most people give. It's an inactivated vaccine, which means it doesn't have any live virus in the vaccine.
Typically, people are already exposed to the flu or have a common cold virus at the time the shot was given. The shot is not 100% effective, but it still has many benefits.
Also reduces the length of the illness for people that go on to still develop the flu, reduces the length and the severity, and those people typically don't become hospitalized for it.
The CDC recommends that everyone 6 months to 65 years and older receive a flu shot. The WIU Flu Clinic will have a health and wellness fair tomorrow at the Campus Recreation Center from 11 to 3 p.m. Free flu shots will be given out on Thursday in the University Heritage Room from 8:30 to 4 p.m. and on the various dates and times listed on your screen. Students can request a flu shot, at any time by contacting the WIU View Health Center.
Well, a WIU organization is encouraging youth in our area to get involved in the fine arts. News 3's Ariana Nutili shows us how 22 kids learned to kick up their heels this past weekend.
University Dance Theater is a student-run organization on campus here at WIU that continues to inspire and teach young students from the local community the importance of fine arts. Each semester, they hold a dance clinic to continue this important message. The theme of this year's clinic was Broadway Bound. Dance Clinic allows students the opportunity to learn from members of University Dance Theater about dance technique, performance, and style. For more information about the Dance Clinic or University Dance Theater, you can check out their website at www.wiu.edu/COFAC or email udtdanceclinic@gmail.com. For News 3, I'm Ariana Nutili.
The cost to participate in the University Dance Theater Clinic is $20 per child. The clinic is offered for kids in the 1st grade through 12th grade.
WIU's Dance Marathon and McDonald's are teaming up for the kids this weekend. This upcoming Thursday at the West Jackson Street McDonald's, Macomb residents will be able to raise money for children's hospitals. When food is purchased from 5 to 8 p.m. while using a coupon found on the Dance Marathon Facebook page, 15% of every order will be donated. The event is a part of Dance Marathon's year-long effort to raise money for children's hospitals. For more information, visit the Dance Marathon Facebook page.
The fall season is here, and that means the annual Spoon River Valley Scenic Drive is taking place in Fulton County. You have one last weekend to experience all of the festivities. For 50 years, the event has brought people from all over to shop local. The Spoon River Drive covers 140 driven miles where you can see the sights, taste the food, visit museums, shops, and more.
The bus system in McDonough County is getting a much-needed update, and it's all thanks to some money from Washington. News 3's Andrew Stevens reports on what this means for the bus system and for riders.
Last week, the Federal Transit Administration awarded federal grants to 107 nationwide applicants, one of them being McDonough County Public Transportation. MCPT has been awarded an $800,000 grant, and Nathan Cobb, Transit Director at MCPT, says that the money will be put to good use.
This grant is going to help us purchase hopefully 2 new vehicles that would replace some of these aging vehicles.
Cobb says that 10 of the 26 current fixed route vehicles in use are between 18 and 20 years old and are more prone to mechanical problems.
It's getting harder and harder to keep those vehicles on the road because of their age and mechanical failures.
The Go West bus system plays a significant role in helping WI students get around Macomb.
The need was there, and the system grew, and then it expanded into serving the community as a whole.
And it's not just students using this transportation system. Many others in the county benefit from this free service.
There's a lot of people that rely on it every day to get to work, to get to class, doctor's appointments, groceries, you name it, healthcare, anything. So I think it's a very significant part of our community.
MCPT hopes to continue to serve the public of McDonough County for many years to come. Reporting for News 3, I'm Andrew Stevens.
McDonough County Public Transportation was one of the 339 nationwide applicants to be approved for a federal grant from FTA.
Well, coming up in 2 minutes on News 3 Live at 4.
The midterm elections are less than a month away and voter registration is ending soon.
Yeah, we'll have an update on the registration deadline when we come back.
Why I love to do sports anchoring? Because, it's talking about sports. I decided to come to Western because I wanted an experience that wasn't like some other schools. I did color commentary for one volleyball game. I was terrified. I never did any broadcasting in high school, but when I was talking, it was all, staggered, and I had no idea what I was saying. And now I've done so many different games as a color commentator, play-by-play, now sports anchor. Every show and every game, it gets easier and easier, and I get more comfortable doing it.
I'm Ferdinand. You look at me and think big. You think scary. But I'm a little misunderstood. Funny! Sorry, I almost killed you. You've all been misunderstood. You're not a fighter.
Oh, I don't understand that at all.
Kids with learning and attention issues like dyslexia and ADHD are misunderstood too. Take the time to understand.
Best plan ever!
With the right support, everyone can reach their full potential because you can't judge a bull by his cover. Learn more at understood.org.
No doubt you're going places, young lady.
Thank you. And thank you for the interview as well. I can imagine it was the last thing that you wanted to do after such a long campaign meeting.
You really are a very intelligent young woman. You're very smooth.
You're very smooth yourself.
You have no idea.
I want to be able to stand in front of the camera and tell people the story of what the weather's going to be like that day, or be able to tell people, hey, there's something coming your way, you need to take cover, you need to watch out. And being able to stand in front of a camera and tell not only people who are directly involved but their family members as well, like, this is what's going on. It's been very important to me because, being in those situations where you are relying on the news to tell you what's going on, I like to be a part of that and helping people with that.
Live from Salee Hall in high definition. Live at 4 continues.
Welcome back. President Trump has another cabinet position to fill. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, announced she's resigning from her position today. During a meeting at the White House, President Trump announced Haley will step aside by the end of the year. Trump says she told him several months ago she wanted to take time off. Trump plans to name a replacement in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Haley became UN ambassador in January 2017. Prior to her appointment by Trump, she served as South Carolina's governor. The news comes after a Washington watchdog organization called for an investigation Monday into Haley's use of private planes.
News 3 produced an election PSA encouraging those to get out and register to vote in the upcoming midterm election.
I'm sure you saw some familiar faces there, at least almost. For those who still, there you go, for those who still haven't registered to vote, you're running out of time.
That's right. Regular voting registration ends today. However, online voting registration will be open until the 21st of this month on the State Board of Elections website. To be able to vote, you must be at least 18 years old, a United States citizen, and you must be a resident, in the precinct that you plan to vote in.
You will need to provide a valid driver's license and your social security number. Well, after a data breach at Facebook early last week, a hoax about copycat profiles began appearing in people's inboxes. If you're worried about your information being stolen, here are some precautions you can take. You should first go into your settings and update security questions. Log out of all devices you aren't currently using. Don't click on links with misspelled words and delete messages with them immediately. Update your antivirus software regularly and do a preliminary computer scan to see if your information has been breached. As always, update your passwords regularly. And remember, if it's too good to be true, it usually is.
Coming up on Live at 4, News 3's Molly Naslin will have your 5-day outlook ahead. Stick around.
I chose Western Illinois University because I could get involved right away. You're going to gain experience. I'm going to be able to just become successful right out the gate. I'll be a news reporter and eventually become a news anchor one day. I've always felt that as a strong speaker, I could be a voice for the voiceless, but as long as I continue to believe in myself, work hard, and show that I want to put my best foot forward, I think that anything is possible.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be tornado next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Create your success at Western Illinois University. Automatic scholarships and affordable education and more are all yours at Western Illinois University. Apply today at wiu.edu.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today, I'm just an aluminum can, but one day, I could be a stadium.
Good afternoon. Welcome back, Macomb. Right now, our temperature is about 81 degrees. It's a bit of a warm-up from what we've been seeing as of late. Our dew point is at 67. Our humidity is a little bit high at 62%, but our winds have picked up from out of the southeast at 13 miles per hour. That is helping to bring in some of these possible storms that we might see this afternoon. If this slide would advance. There we go. All right, for our averages, we are above average today. However, that will not stay the same. We will see some changes throughout the week. We are a little bit around where our record high is, not quite there. Again, this is what we are looking at for this afternoon. Now, this has advanced since the start of our program. This is a little bit closer to our area. Again, looking at the cloud cover, all of that storms are happening over here, but we are going to see a little bit of that coming into our area from the south. It's actually coming straight up from the south. Normally we see everything come from the west. This is coming straight up from the south. But again, our current temperatures right now, 80s across the board with 81 in Macomb, 84 in Beardstown, and over at Quincy. Although you are warm, unfortunately, most areas along the Mississippi River are experiencing flooding, and our area is under a flood watch through tomorrow morning. Now, tonight we are going to get down into the 60s. Part of these slightly warmer temperatures, warmer than average, is due to cloud cover tonight. Not a lot of that heat from the day will be able to escape. Tomorrow, big cool down because of that rain coming through the area. 60s and 70s across the board, and it's going to get even colder as we go into tomorrow night with 30-degree temperatures for parts of the area. Some 40s, but for the most part, 36, 39 in Keokuk, 36 in Macomb. It is going to be a chilly one. Now, tonight, again, a low of 65 with thunderstorms, possibly severe. We will be keeping an eye on those. Winds will remain out of the southeast at 13 miles per hour. Tomorrow, Not as warm, high of 69. Again, a chance of thunderstorms. Winds will be picking up and changing direction a little bit coming out of the southwest at 17 miles per hour. For your 5-day, we will have a break from these clouds coming up on Thursday, but then those will be rolling back in, and our fall break will be starting with a high of 48 degrees, warming up just a little bit for the rest of that break on Saturday and Sunday.
I mean, it just seems weird. Everyone's thinking, is it still summertime? Or are we going into fall?
That's what I think.
I mean, it's like what? But I see the record was 90 degrees a few years ago, right?
Yeah, it was 90 degrees just a few years ago, actually back in 2007. We did get up into the lower 80s, so got kind of close to that, not quite there though.
All right, thanks, Molly. And I hear that the Leathernecks unfortunately got defeated this past weekend. Can you tell us about that?
They did unfortunately get defeated, but it is fall. It's the best time for sports. And coming up next on Live at 4, we come off of a weekend full of high-intensity sports action. First, Western Illinois with their biggest rivalry game of the year and a trip to Hancock Stadium in Normal, Illinois. Some history being made in that one. And the Macomb High volleyball team looking to continue an already impressive 22-win season. Would they be able to put together win number 23 against Camp Point? Those matchups and a whole lot more when we come back with sports.
Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
I learned broadcasting for 3 years in high school, so towards my senior year, I was pretty much invested in wanting to pursue a career. And I do enjoy it now, but I'm searching for a way to make sure that it's something that I want to pursue after college. That way, I'll be able to wake up every day and say, this is something I want to do, this is something that I love, this is something that I can teach, I can spread, I can affect people with.
Last night, the Macomb High Bombers did battle with Camp Point Central in a battle at Macomb High School. The Bombers were looking for their 3rd win in their last 5 tries. Let's get right into the action. The Bombers in action at Washington Street Gym against Camp Point Central as the Bombers look to continue a great season to this point. Early on and for most of the match, it was all Bombers. Samantha Urch here with the kill for the Bombers. They were up early and often. Here is Urch again after a nice little set. Urch will put that right down for the kill as the Bombers continue to roll. Then later on, it was Jocelyn Buchanan. She would get the kill for the Bombers. And then Autumn Kindheart got it rolling for Macomb High. Autumn Kindheart, you'll see her here. She'll go up and put it down. Another kill for Macomb High. And then Kindheart again. Here we go. Macomb defensively was unbelievable. Here you go. This is going to be put up. Kindheart's going to put it right back down. Another kill for Macomb High. And finally, Victoria Wing, you'll see her right here with the block to end the match. Macomb took both sets against Camp Point Central for the 2-0 win. Macomb High wins both sets in this one and improves to a record of 23-9 on the season. They also have a record of 4-1 in conference as their magical season continues. Western Illinois football trying to build off of back-to-back wins in state rivalry time as the Leathernecks head 100 miles east to take on the Redbirds of Illinois State. 101 times the purple and gold have laced them up against ISU. This time it was for 3 wins in a row. Opening drive for Western. Senior Sean McGuire finds Tony Tate over the middle. He bolts for the pylon and we are on the board. The Redbirds looking for an immediate answer, and they would get it. Brady Davis hands off to James Robinson, and he's going to go the distance into the end zone, get his way in there for 6. Late in the first half, McGuire dropping back. He would throw it over the middle, and once again, this guy, Steve McShane, would make an impact in a game this season. He would take it in for the score, 13-12 at halftime, and now it would not stop there. Early second half, handoff to Robinson with nowhere to go. WI with a menacing front push. They would get it. McGuire back on the attack. He would find a man, and he was tripped up inches before the goal line, could not get into the end zone, but the Redbirds would not go away, or Western trying to flex their muscles, excuse me. Tate, a second time, takes it in, breaks it away, and tripped up inches before the goal line, and the Redbirds would not go away. Fourth quarter, and the second time on the day, Robinson puts ISU in front, 19-16. Last play of the game here. This was the dagger. McGuire throws a pick-6 interception. It would be taken in. The final score, Western Illinois 16, Illinois State 33. ISU would continue to put distance between the two teams, 33-16, the final score. A tough test at home for Western Illinois this upcoming weekend as they will take on the Bison of North Dakota State, coming to Hanson Field. Sean McGuire breaks the record for touchdowns. What a game for McGuire. He would go on and he would have a great game. 1,344 yards on the season now for McGuire, 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 64 career touchdowns, 8,269 career yards. This past week's top moment occurred last night in New Orleans, Louisiana. Quarterback Drew Brees on Monday Night Football making history, passing Peyton Manning for the most passing yards in NFL history. Here's the play and the moment that will forever be remembered in NFL history.
Though, being able to get down on that field, what they're going to experience, incredible.
Brees wide open, and Smith, what a way to do it!
Blue 80, what's that?
I love you, bro. I love you, bro. I love you, buddy.
Hey, boys! How about that, huh? Yeah. How about that? Hey, I love you guys so much. Hey, you're going to accomplish anything in life you're willing to work for, right? I love you, boys. I love you.
What a moment for the Saints and Drew Brees, as he will go down for now as the all-time leader in passing yards. That sports final word is next.
I understand. I know it's not your typical resume.
Okay, well.
But candidate. But I've been working double shifts just to pay for books. I've been raising my 2 little brothers. I'm determined, driven, motivated. Isn't that what you're looking for?
Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent at gradsoflife.org.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
I started to think about doing broadcasting my freshman year. I started calling some football games for the freshman football team. My high school didn't really have a broadcasting program like some do, and so a lot of my stuff was just PA for different sports, for basketball, for volleyball. And my mom signed me up for a visit to come to Western on a Discover Western Day. And I walked through the doors of the rec center, and Buzz Hoon shook my hand, said, "Zach Stone, I've seen all your footage, I know who you are, and you belong here." And that's what really makes WIU feel like home.
If you're scared of heights, you may not have to, or you may not be able to handle what the WIU ROTC students were doing today. This is from last year's rappelling.
Outside of Salee Hall, students in the program put on their gear and rappelled down the side of the building. They'll be back in action tomorrow and Thursday afternoon if weather permits.
Yeah, I just think that that's something all students should put on their bucket lists.
I would try it. I mean, it looks kind of
At least while they're at Western, you know?
Yeah, speaking of weather, I know it's getting cooler now, which is a little bit crazy.
We are cooling off, and part of that is because of the rain that we are getting. Thursday will be looking nice for the repelling that is coming up, but our fall break is going to be a little chilly.
All right, Molly. Well, that's all for us today.
But we're online all the time.
Stay up to date with us, news3WIU.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Just search our handle, News3WIU. You can also search for us on YouTube and subscribe.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
From all of us at News 3, have a good night, Macomb.